Hey Jack, what's happening?
I don't know.
Well, rumor around town says you might be thinking about going down to the shore.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go down to the shore.
What are you going to do down there?
I don't know. Play some video games, buy some Def Leppard t-shirts.
Don't forget your Motley Crue t-shirt. You know, all proceeds go to get their lead singer out of jail.
Uh-huh.
Can't wait to go down. Hey, we going to check out the Sandbar while you're down there?
What's the Sandbar?
That's a place that lets 16-year-old kids drink.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, hey, guess who's going to be there?
Who?
My favorite cover band, Crystal Shit.
Wow.
Yeah, they do a Doors show. You'd be really impressed. In fact, it goes a little like this. Love me 2 times, baby. Love me twice today. Love me 2 times, girl. 'Cause I got 8. Love me 2 times, baby. Once for tomorrow. Once 'cause I got AIDS. Pretty good Jim Morrison impression there. I hope those guys have a good sense of humor and don't take us into court.
What's the court?
Never mind that. The important thing
You mean
here,
the People's Court?
no, that's another story. The important thing here is that we get to the part where you ask me how I'm going to get down to the shore.
Oh, how you getting down to the shore?
Funny you should ask. I've got a car now.
Oh, wow, how'd you get a car?
Oh, my folks drove it up here from the Bahamas.
You're kidding.
It must be the Bahamas or islands. Okay, the important thing here is that you asked me what kind of car it is.
What kind of car do you got?
I've got a bitchin' Camaro.
Bitchin' Camaro, I ran over my neighbors. Bitchin' Camaro, now I'm in all the papers. My folks bought me a bitchin' Camaro with no insurance to match. So if I happen to run you down, please don't leave a scratch. I ran over some old lady one night at county fair, and I didn't get arrested because my dad's a mayor. Bitchin' Camaro, donuts on your lawn. Bitchin' Camaro, Tony, Orlando, and Dawn. When I drive past the kids, they all spit and cuss. 'Cause I've got a bitchin' Camaro and they have to ride the bus. So you better get out of my way when I come through your yard. 'Cause I've got a bitchin' Camaro and an Exxon credit card. Bitchin' Camaro, hey man, where you headed? Bitchin' Camaro, I'm drunk on unleaded.
Welcome back to what's that?
Grab Taco Bell's Nachos Party Pack. Whatever you're dressing up.
The interruption. More importantly, this is the illegal stream. The only stream with annoying hand motions. What I want to do today, well, I don't know exactly. We'll see if I get into any of the planned material or if I just chat with these folks. Shalom, Pop Vulture. How are you? Good to see you, buddy. 31. I don't know why you're blocked. I'm thinking that maybe one of the people I made moderator blocked you. I'll have to check on that. Good to see you, Lando. Gavin McGinnis opened for Dead Milkmen back in the day. Who knew? Gavin McGinnis, interesting guy. Might have to bust him at some point for being a beta. I can't take him too seriously. Not that anybody can, but like him, let me adjust this. Oh, it's already at the, oh, all right. Anyway, Buddy 31 says, I used to love Gavin. Now I just kind of like him. He's Rush Limbaugh with a drinking problem. Yes, dude, he's always like, he said this thing when he was on a podcast. He was like, I just feel like if I ever have anything negative to say, I just have to say it to a person. Otherwise, it's going to bother me that I didn't say it. And I'm thinking like, well, dude, you have a problem then. If you can't live without being a douchebag, and by the way, I don't mean online, I mean in real life, just entertaining nonetheless. I will say he's very entertaining, I just feel like his, for lack of a better way to say it, I feel like he should be fucking punched in the face a few times. Not advocating violence, not saying you should do it. I don't think, I'm just saying, people always say, you know, you should never resort to violence. Well, I think if a stranger yells faggot in your face or something like that, you should get at least one punch, even if you're not gay. I think that there's some material here. See, here's the thing, right? People want coverage of Red Bar. That's on the way. That's going to take some time. Basically, the way I'm trying to do that video is write essentially an hour of stand-up type jokes to throw in there somewhere. This might be a big thing. We'll see. What I want to cover is, okay, well, I was going to cover this thing. A lot of people have been saying that Sam Hill is a pedophile, and I want to get people's opinions because I saw this clip posted on Milking Limonade, not related, not associated with making lemonade. I saw this clip and I was like, I don't think that's enough. Well, take a look at this clip. This clip is called Sam is Complicit with Pedophilia. Let's just take a look here and you tell me what your opinions are.
Down there, I got a sign. I don't know if I should say this. Some people call it intuition, okay? I call it a sign spiritually.
Now, I'm not too familiar with Poon Handler. Sounds like a fun person. Let's see what he says.
To talk to Poon.
So Poon,
he's a warrior. To have him come aboard and be.
All right, so Poon Handler made some kind of joke about being over the age of 15.
Part of.
Now, I don't know.
On air. He was for a few minutes last night, not with me, but I saw him. Oh, I can tell he's a strong American man, loves his country, loves his God. Let's find out. I want to know more about him. Poon Handler knows what I'm talking about. I do believe you're a real hero. Be a hero for Shaw.
All right, so Poon Handler says hopefully they're over 15. Jackson Black says 15 months. Obviously a joke.
Poon Handler, we need you. We need a warrior for truth. You that man, Poon Handler? Let's find out. I got a sign. I don't know if I.
All right. Well, this is fucking retarded. Now there's a map that says age of consent in the United States, and it literally shows every state, and it's different in every state. But here's the thing, right? Age of consent aside, number one, it's a joke. I assume. I'm not gonna fucking throw the pedo card at somebody unless they show me there's a little more evidence than that. Secondly, we're looking at the age of consent. Now, everybody knows that morals are separate from the law. I assume everybody knows that. So the age of consent, now I'm not somebody who's like, hey, let's lower the age of consent. What I am saying is that if it's morally wrong to be with a 15-year-old, it doesn't matter if the law says it's right or not, it's fucking wrong. So what's the point of this age of consent map?
I should say this. Some people call it intuition, okay? I call it a sign spiritually to talk to Poon. He's a warrior. To have him come aboard and be part of our on air. He was for a few minutes last night, not with me, but I saw him. Oh, I can tell he's a strong American man, loves his country, loves his God. Let's find out. I want to know more about him.
So
Poon Handler knows what I'm talking about. I do believe you're a real hero.
now,
Be a hero for.
Now Jackson Black is saying sometimes they just crawl in their windows and eat them out while they're sleeping. Well, that's fucking disgusting. That is fucking disgusting. again, I doubt he actually does that, so it doesn't matter that he said that.
Shaw, Punander, we need you. We need a warrior for truth. You that man, Punander? Let's find out. Punander, I got a sign. I don't know if I should say this. Some people call it intuition, okay? I call it a sign, spiritually, to talk to Poon. He's a warrior. To have him come aboard and be part of our on air. He was for a few minutes last night, not with me, but I saw him. Oh, I can tell he's a strong American man, loves his country, loves his God. Let's find out. I want to know more about him.
All right, so that's Milking Limonade clip. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Yeah, fucking, it's okay. So Buddy 31 is saying age of consent in Mexico is 12. I don't know if that's true or not, but if it is it morally okay because the map said 12? Like, I don't see this. Look, maybe you could construct a decent hit piece on Sam Hill. However, this is not a good hit piece. Despite what the like to dislike ratio says, there's not enough to it. So, sorry, Sam so far is not complicit with pedophilia. The drinking the breast while the baby's on the other breast, now that part is weird. I would like to know a little more about that. I also want to check out, have some other stuff here. You know what I haven't done in a while is any kind of like prank phone calls. I know that, oops. Let me see if I can get a link to this other video here. I know that it's been a while since I did any kind of prank phone call shit, so maybe soon I'll do that. What I'm looking for is this clip, but from this other show, but I can't find it right now, so we'll have to figure that out later. We've got Sally, we've got this dude. Lando told me about this dude who covered, I guess he covered me recently. I haven't seen this yet, so I don't know what the deal is with it. Let's take a look. All right. This video is called Red Bar versus Rogan versus Bronx Dad Hero versus Joey Diaz Xanax versus Wes Watson Fitness versus Louis J. Gomez. So let's see what this is all about. Make sure I've got it pulled up here. Okay. So this guy covered a video I did a while back. Fucking forever ago. Let's see what he's talking about here.
Yes. And now, you know, in this
I hope he has some good stuff to say.
thing.
So basically, he just yapped about nothing. That dude literally yapped about nothing. Is Brandon Schaub dead?
We can only wish. I want this guy to like it, so we'll
Red
see.
Bar exposed. What, dude? These exposed videos are great. Oh, look at this
All right,
guy.
everybody,
Look at this guy.
welcome back to Hostbusters, the show where
Hostbusters.
we call out people.
You get it? It's like Ghostbusters, but you put host in it. You get it?
It's good. Shut up.
You get it?
Yeah,
It's Egon Slimer. You get it? Hostbusters. Damn. 238 down, dude. Well, in Red
You hear his laugh?
Bar, in like that commenter on Red Bars, I guess he's doing it right. According to him, according to that commenter on Red Bar, it was a Red Bar. How did he come up with that fancy dancy name?
Red Boar. Wow, so this guy's a fucking So far, genius, comedy genius. Hostbusters, that's like Ghostbusters. And then Red Bar, where'd he get that fancy dancy name? Fucking funny guy. Let's hear what else he has to say. Stupid things in their videos. This week, I'm going to talk about failed comedian Mike David, host of Red Bar Radio. Is it on the radio? No. That doesn't matter. So here we see at the very beginning.
Has he got a washer and dryer going in the background? Washing his fucking cum socks, dude.
That's right.
This guy's definitely not getting it.
Washing my cum socks. That's right. Always wash the cum socks because I'm a clean guy.
Washing his fucking cum socks, dude. This guy's definitely not getting any pussy, dude.
Okay, bud. You look like me, older, with a fucking beard and no glasses. That's the only difference between me and you, buddy boy.
Or man ass. Just saying.
You know what? Nothing wrong with some man ass hanging out with your buds. Got to do something. So what? I don't even know what I'm saying. Let's continue. Do a disclaimer. Get it? Because it's like a kooky way to say it. So anyway, at the beginning of every clip.
2 for 2, my friend. Disclaimer. You get it? This guy's fucking clever. Clever. CLEVAWH. Clever. As I was talking shit, I got the fucking train coming by like a motherfucker.
This fucking idiot. All right. I don't know if I like him or not yet. We'll see.
Hostbusters. Maybe tone down the sarcasm because he's laying it on thick.
Seen on YouTube, he has this little disclaimer. Mike David, Red Bar, and Sparks Club Entertainment are not responsible for the opinions, language, and behavior seen and heard throughout the program. Just pretend it's a movie, NC-17. It's a really scary movie with lots of swears and bad guys. Other than that, everything here is a...
Okay, I see what this comment means. Tone down the sarcasm. It's not even delivered in a fucking tone that would be acceptable. This is what I get for fucking...
Now I know... Now I know how Mike felt watching this video, because I'm like, this guy has no insight.
Just hitting fucking buttons on clips, dude. Oh, wow. Red Bar's really getting into it. He's trying to start beefs between comedians. I see what's going on here. Trying to fan the flames. That's his thing. I guess that's his fucking shtick. His shtick is getting in between comedians and making shit big, I see here. So he's doing basically what Nick DiPaolo does to Black Lives Matter and Antifa. That's his thing. And CNN.
He comments on shit. What are you talking about? Everybody who comments on a video is just doing fucking commentary. It doesn't... It's got nothing to do with Antifa. I get what he's saying, sort of, but like Nick DiPaolo doesn't cover the entertainment. Whatever. Let's keep going.
So Red Bar does that to comedians. You know what I mean? Gets in between them. You know, hates them, has a hate-love relationship.
So in other words, he's saying Red Bar is a hack, I think.
With them. So I'm kind of fucking interested in this fag now.
How dare
Gags
you?
to look elsewhere for trouble. That's cute. He seems paranoid and unwilling to stand by the things he says. Seems like a big baby thing. You think somebody's gonna sue you? I don't know. Let's keep going here because there's. I want to.
I think that YouTube does like those. They must have an algorithm for disclaimer. Like I need to put one on. You put one on, it seems like people leave you alone. As far as
There's an algorithm for disclaimers. Do you even know what you're saying, old man? That makes no sense.
it's like you're not getting flagged, because I see people I get flagged all the fucking time, and then the lengthier that you go in.
Here's a little secret. a disclaimer doesn't seem to do shit because even though I jokingly said, "What do you think? Somebody's going to sue you?" It turns out he did get sued by that guy Kyle Lane, I think.
The better. Like if you can pace yourself past that first couple minutes, it's like YouTube is on a high alert at that junction. But if you make it past that, you know, because the words that I choose to use a lot of the times, I see on other podcasts all the fucking time. You know, people using them, and it
I bet you say the F word.
has no. I don't see it. Like they're getting. I don't know if they're. I don't think they're getting flagged. I don't know. I don't think they are. You know, but like I got my whole channel removed
So far, you're no better than me, bud.
a couple times. You know, and some people are happy about that. And it's like great. You know, who gives a shit? And true that. Who gives a shit, right? But I give a shit. I give a fucking shit. I don't want all my fucking videos gone, even if they.
I hope he does a commentary video on my commentary of him commenting on me.
Fucking got no views. I took the time to make the motherfuckers.
Let's just go right into it, actually.
Doing I don't even like to call it trolling, but on Instagram, I'll just say stuff, you know, some random stuff that I believe to.
He doesn't call it trolling, but he just says random shit to strangers on Instagram that he believes. Well, yeah, it's not trolling if you believe it.
I'm a guy watching a guy watching a guy.
That's right.
And you're watching a guy. That's four degrees of separation.
Damn, look at this guy saying the same shit I'm saying.
But fucking something.
I don't, you know what? This guy might be cool. I'll have to give him a chance if I ever interact with him, but he did say some unkind things about me. But so do I. It's the game we play.
People that I believe are bad people, and it really is working. I got a big one yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. I got Dane
He's twirling his beard.
Cook.
So you think Dane Cook is a bad person?
I got Chelsea Handler the other week.
So it seems like he is trolling to get more famous people to get attention for himself. Like that's kind of the way of the road, Ricky. I don't know if this fucking guy doesn't understand that. I mean, that's
Okay, douchebag. So he he said the way of the world is you troll people and you fuck with people in order to get famous. That's one way to do it. It doesn't have to be the way you do it. That's like saying the only way to get ahead in business is to be cutthroat and fucking pour sewage in the, you know, in the water system and fuck over people, because that's the way business is. Doesn't have to be. And that's my point. I'm calling Mike out as a hack because he's doing things in underhanded and shitty ways. You can excuse it if you want. It's still shitty.
it's kind of where he's saying he's judging bad people. He's being a cunt himself. He's in good company. I recognize his cuntiness. Oh, fuck it. Let's continue.
I got
He's gotten them.
We got Ben Lee. We should start making.
He's talking about a list of people that he's gotten good. This middle-aged fucking loser is afraid.
The Instagram bro. Oh yeah.
He looks like he's wearing a grandma's cardigan.
Instagram bro. And yeah, there's been a few others. We should start keeping.
Is this guy fucking looking in the mirror himself? You look
I look in the mirror and I see a handsome alpha. So I don't know what you're talking about, bud.
like fucking Hannah Gadsby, my friend.
Hannah Gadsby, a great comedian.
What the fuck is wrong with you? You look like fucking Hannah Gadsby, bro.
That's
I'm going
kind of funny.
on a limb and say Hannah Gadsby is a little fucking. Well, I was about to say funnier, but
You could call me funny Hannah Gadsby.
is this guy another fucking failed comedian?
He's
These
wearing
all
a
guys all
cardigan,
failed
but he is
comedians?
wearing a grandma's
Work
cardigan.
with this. We got Dane Cook. This was a good one.
It's a failed comedian watching a failed comedian watching a future failed comedian. That's me. That's me.
He got it backwards, but I get it. I get what he's trying to say.
I like to
And part of the reason that I don't like this guy, by the way, besides the fact that he's a 48-year-old fucking troll. I know he's not really 48, but he's 48 in troll years. And he looks like a troll. But, you know, I guess it just seems like it lacks depth. Like his whole thing is like, I'll make fun of somebody and then they'll react. Oh, who knew? Who knew you had feelings? He's always shocked when people react when he insults them. You tell him.
Show you what happened here today, and I've got a great new development. Okay, so a lot of people saw this, but I've got a
None for nothing. That guy eats a lot of macaroni and cheese, dude. I'll tell you right now. A lot of nacho cheese.
Nah.
Nacho cheese, mac and cheese.
Okay, Mr. Skinny. Okay, Skinny Mini over there. I bet you eat a lot of fucking candy bars and hamburger helper.
Talks to his parents twice a day. He's a good boy. He's a good boy.
That's right. I'm a good boy.
that you might have not seen. And this was a good one. So let's start here, and I'm going to have to show you through my.
So I guess he's like trolling Dan Cook.
So here's Dan Cook, and he posts this. It's a wonderful picture of him with Marvel.
Harvey Levin would consider Red Bar a salacious piece of shit.
Sure, everybody.
All right, so what he was talking about here is that Stan Lee passed away, and so Dane Cook posted a photo of himself with Stan Lee. I guess Red Bar, the edgy, kooky guy he is, decided that it would be a good idea to troll somebody.
All right, dude. Can't handle that shit. God damn, the tone, bro. The tone.
Yeah, well, you're 58 and you say bro, so who's the fucking loser?
Real ass racist at all.
All right, I think that's it. Future star. Obviously, that guy is a future star. We'll see what he comes up with. You know, I don't know how early on he is in his career of being a commentator, but let's, you know what? I don't remember. Oh, let me see what his name is. Why not give him a plug? His name is Uncle Dust Comedy Dustcast. So, let me say, like a cunty SJW. Yeah, so, yeah, so there we go. That's the idea. And let's see, what did his video get? Did he get some likes on this thing? Oh, he's got his like and dislike ratio hidden. That's brave. What a brave guy you are. So thank you, Lando, for bringing that to my attention. Mr. Cardinal in the chat saying, HB disrespecting chat this morning? Never. Never. But I do want to ask, do you know who banned Buddy? Because Buddy is one of the greats. Let's see. Mike David was sued in 2007 by a neighbor and had to remove episodes because of it. Damn. If you clip this, I'll send it to him so he can cover it. Yeah. If I don't clip it today or tomorrow, just remind me and I'll do that. I've been trying to do more clips lately, so that'll be fun to see his take. We'll see if me and him become friends or mortal enemies, like Mike David and myself. Which, by the way, I've kind of given Mike a pass. And let's just put it this way. As much of a dick as Mike thinks I've been, there have been many opportunities where people, either from the Reddit or people on Discord or viewers, have given me lots, have requested me to do lots of things that I didn't do because I don't do underhanded bullshit. Mr. Cardinal, don't you hear me? Don't you see me? I'm right here. let's see. I'm trying to think of. I could cover something else, maybe, but I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm too much of a hater on Mike? Do I go too far? Let's see what else Uncle Dust Comedy has to say. Let's just take a. I'm just curious what other videos he has. I don't know what any of his other videos are, but we'll see if he takes off. How many subs does he have? Oh, he's fucking. He hid his subscribers. Another brave move from Uncle Dusty. Fucking. What was that noise?
Hey guys.
Yeah. Nice Brita. Thank you. You know, this is my third water purification device. And I gotta say, the first one, I don't remember what happened to it. The second one, I was holding it over the litter box and it fucking fell in. So now I got this fucking pure. I don't know if it's better than Brita or worse, but it's blue. So it's better. That's how it works. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I used to do this joke. I used to copy, what's his name? Andrew Dice Clay used to always say blue. Well, actually, it's more of a copy of Anthony Cumia, but, Andrew Dice Clay had that joke, little boy blue, he needed the money. And then Anthony Cumia would be like, that shirt's blue. You know why? Because it needed the money. Just stupid jokes like that over and over again. And I would say 2 years ago or so, like 2018, I was just fucking every day was a joke. It's the sky is blue. It needed the money. Just dumb shit. And it got to the point where she's like, you got to stop doing that. So the next year, I was finally like, I realized that I way overdid it. So I'm like, I'm done. And literally all of last year and this year, I have not made that joke once. You could say it's a beta move, but I say it's knowing when you have reached your limit and there is no further you can go with the same stupid, annoying joke. Let's see. Yeah. Any more comments here that I should address? Oh, Buddy31 says, I have a genuine question for you in the chat. Did you already, what is the question, Buddy? And do you find that people are nicer to you because your name is Buddy? Let's see. So we did Uncle Dusty. I want to see if Red Bar did some coverage of Joe Rogan's drunk driving. It's a fucking long video, so I don't know if that's relevant. I want to actually comment maybe on this other video. There's a whole bunch of shit that I could potentially cover. All right. Of course, thinking about doing beta of the week. This was actually interesting. This isn't even a host thing, but oops. I don't know what this is actually. It's called Sam Hyde Trolls InfoWars. This is fucking. I don't know how I would cover that shit though. That InfoWars stuff. By the way, if you're confused in the chat, I think that it is slower than you would expect. Like, I don't see the chat as quickly as you do. All right, I'm going to pull up. I'm just trying. I'm getting through my pad here. It's a little complicated. All right, let's check out our homie, our good friend JLP, when he alphaed this news panel when he was on it as JLP. By the way, I wonder what Uncle Dusty would say about me saying I'm an alpha. He'd probably tell me to clean out my cum socks. You know what? Fuck you, Dusty. I'm never cleaning out my cum socks. I'm going to hang them on my Christmas tree, my disgusting Christmas tree, and disrespect the holidays because of you. All right. This is called JLP Shut Up Beta. Jesse destroys liberal on live TV. All right, let's check this out. Fucking Jesse.
Joining us from Los Angeles is Jesse Lee Peterson. He's an
Looks fucking
author, activist, pastor.
All jokes aside, the guy looks fucking amazing for 70. He probably looked like fucking Mr. Potato Head when he was 5, but not bad for 70.
And host of the Jesse Lee Peterson radio show. Also with us from New York is Christopher Hahn. He's the host of the Aggressive Progressive podcast on iHeartRadio and Apple Podcasts. And from Massachusetts, John Crouch is the Dean of the University of Miami's Herbert Business School. Thanks to all of you for being with us. John Crouch, let me start with you. And we just got that very distressing news from our reporter there, Nathan King, telling us that Congress people have gone home without reaching agreement on this stimulus bill. There is something of a Band-Aid solution. They've extended the benefits for a week. But if there's no other solution to give people this kind of benefit that they were getting, what kind of impact is that going to have, not just on families, but also on the U.S. economy?
Anand, it's going to have a big impact. Thank you for having me this evening. We have to understand that everything.
Why does every third British old man look like this dude?
Everything was going pretty well for a couple of months, but then the patient had a relapse, and the patient was released from hospital too early. And therefore, the last couple of weeks, we've seen an uptick in the continuing unemployment insurance claims. We've seen year-on-year credit card spending that had been creeping back up, now stalled out. And we've seen consumer confidence that was up in July, down in June. And so throughout the economy, there is a measure of pessimism, and that can only be
he said their confidence was up in July and down in June. Did he say it backwards? Because if their confidence has increased in July, that means that they're more comfortable.
Signified by the impasse in Congress, because it's clear that 30 million, as the report indicated, 30 million consumers and households are hurting. They do need this supplemental employment benefit, maybe not at 600 per person for everybody, but they also need a continuing moratorium on.
I'm going to fast forward a little bit. All right. So they're talking about stimulus checks in America or wherever. And now we're on to the panel here.
Impasse is simply not good enough.
John, one other question. We've just had another 1.4 million Americans file for unemployment. We also got the news this week that the country saw its biggest quarterly post-war contraction in, and yet, you know, we also see the stock market continuing to climb. So what's the longer-term outlook for the economy?
Right. So important to note the 33% quarterly reduction, 4 times higher than the largest quarterly reduction during the 2008 financial crisis. And by comparison, during the same quarter, it's worth pointing out that another very large economy, Germany, meanwhile, 0.2% in the United States, a lot of industry this year. I think it looks as though the U.S. is going to underperform what the experts forecast a month or two ago. And the question is whether or not the vaccine is going to come along fast enough to greatly boost consumer confidence and get everybody back on track in 2021?
I'm a smart British man. That's why I have books with gold bindings behind me. They look like books from fucking 200 years ago that Sigmund Freud's not 200 years old, but they look fucking, he's a fake person in Harry Potter's fucking Gryffindor school or whatever.
Chris Hahn, we see this becoming another political...
By the way, this is a nice panel of diversity. On the left, we've got undistinguishable race. Then we've got a black fella who's white on the inside, supposedly. Then we got this white American dude, gay, I assume. And then a British dude on the right. Nice panel. Good stuff.
For right now, the fighting that's going on between the Democrats and the Republicans on Congress. Would it be fair to say that in this instance, with the Congress people now packing their bags, going away on vacation, they've actually failed, both Democrats and Republicans have actually failed the American people again?
Well, the Senate surely failed. The House of Representatives passed a bill 70 days ago. The Senate refused to act on it till this week, and they can't even get...
He's the aggressive progressive. There's nothing aggressive about this man.
Their majority in line. There are over 20 Republicans that have told Mitch McConnell, the leader of the Senate Republicans, that they will not vote for this or any other relief bill. So that leaves it to Democrats in the Senate. And if you're leaving it to Democrats in the Senate, you really need to start with the House of Representatives bill, not some fantasy bill being floated by the White House. The White House has failed to lead on this. America has failed to lead the world on this crisis. And we are seeing the effects of that. So, no, I would not pass the blame around equally. The House of Representatives did their job. They passed a bill.
It's taking a minute to get to it, but I don't want to skip forward because we might miss it.
70 days ago, the Senate has done nothing. Mitch McConnell is not a leader. He's just some guy who likes to play politics. And now is not a time for that. Now's a time for leadership.
All right, Jesse Lee Peterson, what is your view on this? Welcome to the show, by the way. I mean, what is your reading of the situation right now?
I think that all people know, all honest people know, that the coronavirus is not as serious as the children of the lie are pretending.
That's
the
right.
children of the lie are the liberal media.
The Democratic Party, the children of the lie, you got to call them out. Don't you love that a fucking news show will have him on to talk about the children of the lie?
The Democratic Party, the right on Republicans, the never Trumpers, and the black race hustlers. They're holding the people in captivity because they want the great white hope out of office. And I call Donald Trump, our president, the great white hope. This is a political issue, and it's about getting rid of Donald Trump. These people are liars. The situation is not as bad as they're pretending. They don't want the economy to recover. They don't want the people to go back to work, because they want to blame Donald Trump.
All right, but Jesse,
they have election coming up, and they don't want to do it.
So Jesse's obviously triggering people on the panel right now. We'll get to them, saying that, you know, the whole Corona thing is a plot to get the great white hope out of office.
Just saw a terrorist attack upon America by this far left radical Black Lives Matter and Antifa.
Okay.
And those people, they ran around.
This is the problem.
Don't you fucking Jesse is just rambling over everybody. It's hilarious.
This country.
Destroy.
We got guys like this.
Let me finish.
All right, one moment. One moment, Chris. Let him finish.
Now the aggressive progressive is chiming up.
Let me finish. Hold on, buddy. And they went around destroying America, killing people, robbing and raping.
Yeah.
They had no mask on, no problem. The coronavirus discussion died down.
Wait a second. Antifa might be to blame for violence, but are they raping? Is that what he said?
One moment. One moment, Chris. Let him finish.
Let me finish. Hold on, buddy.
Hey, buddy, he said your name.
Went around destroying America, killing people, robbing and raping.
Yeah.
They had no mask on, no problem. The coronavirus discussion died down. And as soon as the attack,
Jesse, let me ask you this. Okay,
died down. Now they're talking about the coronavirus.
Let me ask you this. How can you say that the coronavirus pandemic is not as serious as the media makes it out to be when we have 150,000 people dead?
I feel bad for the white dude who's not British because he doesn't know how much of a fucking joke Jesse is. So he's taking him seriously and getting so upset.
4.5 million people infected in the United States.
Well, what you have to realize is that hospitals get money for lying about the coronavirus situation.
No.
So most people that go into hospitals today, they can go in for cancer.
The fucking guy says, cut this guy. He wants to cut him off.
They can go in for other things.
All right, these
and
are
the hospitals are lying and saying that, oh, they died from coronavirus.
All right,
but this is now the Jesse Lee Peterson show, by the way, because he's the only one talking.
These are verified numbers.
Hold on, sir.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to interrupt me. Hold on.
Yeah.
I didn't interrupt you.
I'll talk over everybody, but if you interrupt me, how dare you?
Done. And so the hospitals are lying about these stats, about these numbers. This is about getting rid of Donald Trump.
Yeah.
It's not about the people. The politicians would allow the people to suffer in order to get rid of Donald Trump.
Yeah.
That's what this is all about.
All right, Chris, a quick response from you, and then I'm going to move on.
Yeah, you want to know what the problem in America is, right?
Jesse gives this long response, and then he makes the white dude give a short response. How shitty is that?
A quick response from you, and then I'm going to move on.
Yeah, you want to know what the problem in America is right now is that one party is captured by people like Jesse. So when we talk about what's going on in D.C.,
wait one moment, Jesse.
Don't you love Jesse? Just a second ago says you're not allowed to interrupt me. This guy talks for 2 seconds, and Jesse starts interrupting him.
So when we talk about what's
That's because alphas make their own rules.
going on in D.C.
Wait one moment, Jesse.
We want to talk about.
You are a liar.
We want to talk about what's.
You are.
We want to talk about what's going on.
Okay,
you're
Jesse,
one of them,
let's
and you cannot
shut up.
trust it.
Okay,
you're one of them, and you cannot be trusted.
You are a foolish human being who is it?
Shut up. Shut up.
To this country, and we have a situation in this country that is severe, and you are making things up because you know nothing, you do nothing, you cannot even.
This is about
Jesse.
getting rid of
you want to know what's wrong with America? It's you.
People
like you.
No. People like you. And then this guy is going to end up getting. This is why they use black people to support this like really far right stuff. Is because then when this guy says people like you, not meaning a black thing, then people will come after him and be like, how could you say people like you to this black man? So you trying to say he's one of them? That's racist.
Support this president.
People like you and the Democratic Party.
I have got to move on. Okay, I've got to move on. Let me bring in John Crouch. John, let's look at the situation as far as the economy is concerned. I mean, the country is now caught, as we can see.
The British dude's just chilling on the right, not even getting flustered.
Between a pandemic and there's also an urge, you hear it around the country, to reopen the economy. One is causing...
And you know why Jesse's the only one not wearing a tie? That's because alphas don't wear ties. It's a fact.
With the other, can the country actually do both?
Well, many people have articulated a trade-off between public health and the economy, and that is really a false dichotomy, as I think Tony Fauci and many others have said. You have to have good public health security in order to have good economic security. At the same time, it's clear that there are very significant costs to delaying reopening. Just take the arena of mental health, for example. Many families are in confined spaces, they're on top of each other, and all sorts of problems are arising as a result of that in terms of the learning quality that students can undertake in home learning, as well as other family members being, in confined spaces with each other. So with this mental health type problem, there's an imperative to do everything we can to get back into classrooms and to reopen. But we can't do it if the statistics are working against us. And at the moment, in many states, the statistics are working against the legitimate scientific basis for reopening the economy. And that is why we have had to retrench. And that's going to cost the U.S. economy a tremendous amount of money. Not getting it right the first time is going to cost taxpayers for years to come.
Okay. Chris Hahn, I want to move on to another development this week, and that is the president floating the idea of
I'm not sure if JLP is going to chime in or not. We got a few minutes left. We'll see.
postponing the election because conditions would not lead to a fair and a free election and a transparent election. What do you make of what he had to say?
I mean, that's what a loser would say when he's losing, right? Let's not play the game. The United States Constitution, the laws of the United States will not allow the election to be postponed past November 3rd. And if there, for some reason, is no election on November 3rd, or if the president somehow holds up the results in court past January 20th at 12:01, he will cease to be president, because the 20th Amendment of the United States Constitution says that his term ends at 12 o'clock and the new term begins at 12:01. And if there's a vacancy at 12:01, then the House of Representatives, the Speaker of the House, will become president of the United States at that time. So, look, we didn't fight all the wars we fought around this world for 240 years, preserving the United States Republic and our Constitution and our values, to allow a person like Donald Trump to steal an election or to say that our democracy is less than other parts of the world. We believe in the vote in this country. There is no evidence to support anything that the president said, and his failure to lead, which the good professor just talked about here, about our economy and us not having a real strategy to fight the virus, is why he's in the predicament he's in right now. He had an opportunity in March to take the realm, to take the lead on this, to fight this virus and to tamp down on it. Instead, he promoted conspiracy theories. He tried to deny it was even here.
Right.
And now, you know, he's living with the consequences.
All right, Jesse Lee Peterson, what is your response to what you've just heard?
First of all, the president took action early on, and when he banned travel from China and parts of Europe, these same radical far-left lying Democrats call him a racist. Even Nancy Pelosi went down to Chinatown, you know, prancing around with the Chinese people. Oh,
Prancing around Chinatown sounds like a fucking catchy song.
no problem, no problem. And then as soon as he decided to do something else, they went against him. Everything that this president does, they are against it because they are liars. And what they want is power and wealth. That's what they want. And the president is in the way of their way of getting control of the people and getting finance for themselves. And this idea of possibly not holding the election in November, I like that idea because the Democrats are desperate.
Of course
they want power and wealth.
Yeah.
They're far left radical. They are so far left now, they're falling off the edge. And
So,
they want
Jesse,
to control.
I don't know, Jesse. You're to the left of him in this little arrangement here.
the people. And the Democrats cannot be trusted at all.
Jesse,
You
if the
cannot trust-
virus
Hold
is a
on,
hoax,
man. Hey, hold
why
on,
would we
hold
need
on,
to
Democrat.
why would we need
Hold
to
on, Beta. Hold on, Beta.
close the
Beta
election?
male.
Hold on, beta male. I love when Jesse's in real. It's one thing when he's on his show calling people beta. When he's on fucking actual news shows saying this shit to real people, it's amazing.
And West and wealth.
Yeah.
They're far left radical. They are so far left now, they're falling off the edge. And
So,
they want to
Jesse-
control the people.
Let's look at the white dude's face, the gay dude's face when Jesse calls him a beta.
And the Democrats cannot be trusted at all.
Jesse,
You
if the
cannot trust-
virus
Hold on,
is a
man.
hoax,
Hey, hold
why
on,
would we
hold
need
on,
to
Democrat.
why would we need
Hold
to,
on, Beta. Hold on, Beta.
close the
Beta
election?
male. Hold
Why,
on,
why
sir.
would we have to do
Hold
that,
on,
Jesse?
Beta male.
No, wait,
Hold
why
on.
don't you
Okay, one
explain
moment, Chris.
yourself? Because
So
you're conflicting.
Why are you always interrupting, man? Don't interrupt me. I didn't interrupt you.
I didn't interrupt you. Yes, you did, Jesse. Come on.
Fool, and I don't want these people in the world
I
to hear
don't
you.
need you to interrupt me, Mr. Beta Male. Hold on. The president.
Yeah. Oh, you think I'm a beta male? Come on.
Oh, you think I'm a beta male? Fucking. By the way, what is the host? What is the host doing? He's not even stopping this. Maybe he just knows it's good TV. That's possible. But as a news guy, you probably don't want this much misinformation coming out of one man.
Come on out here.
Hold on, Beta Male. The president and
Come out
all
here,
of us,
Jesse. We'll see who's a beta
we
male.
know, hold on.
Wait a
we
second.
know
Did
that
he say, come find me? We'll see who's a beta male?
the president and
Come out
all
here,
of us,
Jesse. We'll see who's a beta
we
male.
know,
Yeah,
hold on, man.
He did. He said, come find me. We'll see who's a beta male. So he's saying he's going to fight this 70-year-old man.
We know that the Democrats
Very
cannot
quickly,
be
Jesse, I got to go.
They have tried before to steal the election, and that's what they want to do this time around. They want the president out.
Right.
And the president has more support than what the liberal media and these liars want you to know.
Okay, and that's where we are going to have to leave.
Nice unibrow, Jesse.
But thanks to all of you for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, what a productive discussion. That is the fucking joke world that the news is, by the way. It's like, well, what did that accomplish? What did that accomplish except entertainment? It's amazing. The world is boring without JLP, let's be honest. If he didn't exist, it would be a sad world. He also went at Steven Crowder one time on the louder, excuse me, I'm burping over here. I don't remember what this one was like. Let's take a look. Fucking. The only good thing about Crowder is his fucking audio visual setup and his set. Everything else about Crowder is fucking cringe. Look at his shirt. He's got the top button undone because he's sexy. He works out.
And I don't want nobody. And I don't want nobody. You got that right.
All right, our next guest. You can follow him on the Twitter at J.
By the way, this is like a silly little thing, but why is Crowder always like, okay, so we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do it. I mean, I know he's on. Is it a side effect of speed that you stammer?
ALP talks. I'm not revealing yet because that's kind of like people who don't know him yet. They hear that and they say, "What is that?" But then if I say his next book is JesseLeePeterson.com, also RebuildingTheMan.com. He's a council activist, commentator. He writes for WorldNet Daily. Mr. Peterson, thank you for being here, sir.
I really appreciate you having me on. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So first off, let me ask. I mean, this is something obviously you've kind of made the rounds. You've declared you're celebrating July White History Month. Do I have that correct?
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely correct. July is White History Month for several reasons. Number one, July just feels white. You know, you can feel it in the air. It's everywhere.
I agree. Even Crowder, look at fucking Crowder's face. He's like, what? What are you talking about, Jesse? Yes, I'm a shill. And I play to the right wing in a hacky way, but what are you talking about, Jesse? I can't go that far.
I just feel white. You know, you can feel it in the air. It's everywhere.
What does that mean? I would think like May, because you have the cherry blossoms. Those are very white.
Well, you have the 4th of July. Mm-hmm. You have vacation time. It's just a time to really go and hang out with family members. And it's a time to reflect. And because it's the birthday of the country, it's a time to reflect on this country and how far we have come, what whites have done to make America great. And so it's like an appreciation month.
Okay.
And another reason that I started it is because we have Black history, we have homosexual history.
Homosexual history. Is there a month for that? Homosexual History Month? There should be. I didn't do any kind of July White History Month kind of theme for the show because I wasn't really doing too much of a show. It's a shame.
We have Mexican history. We have Japanese. We have women history.
Yeah.
Everybody history but white Americans. And as you know, if it wasn't for white America, there would be no America.
Right.
And so, and every time you speak of white history, it's in such a negative, degrading kind of a way.
Well, I understand why. To be fair, it's because, you know, white power has obviously been taken over by white supremacists. And so that was the nomenclature they decided to use. And so people get a little bit gun shy. But your point is not lost on me with everything else. But let me ask you this.
I like how fucking Crowder. See, now I see what Crowder's doing. At first, I was like, oh, does he think Jesse's crazy? the truth is, I don't know if he thinks Jesse's crazy or not, but what he is doing is trying to normalize what Jesse's saying by being almost like his interpreter.
I mean, 4th of July, America, you know, it's not only white people have contributed to America, including obviously Black Americans, people of all stripes and colors. Why? And I'm obviously a conservative Christian straight white male. Why?
Obviously, it's not obvious to me that you're straight, bud. And I don't mind if you're gay. What do I give a fuck? Go fuck your boyfriend while you both wear American flag bandanas. But it's not obvious that you're straight.
Think of those things as kind of exclusive to white America.
Well, they're not exclusive. It's because of white Americans that we are able to celebrate the 4th of July. And so I really want to bring back the reality of white Americans because they have been under attack for so long now. It is it's almost against the law to be a white, straight, conservative Christian male. You are hated by everybody and their mama. And it's just so amazing to me that if it wasn't for white people, there would be no America.
Yeah.
And so they're allowing the people of color to come in, and even some that are born here. And when they get here, rather than becoming Americans, rather than showing their appreciation, they turn on the very people who made it possible for them to be here. And my other concern.
I love his spin about slavery, by the way. The idea that Black people being here is because white people were so nice to welcome them to America.
Too, Stephen, is that these people of color are going to eventually
look at Crowder's speed eyes, by the way he's like,
we go down this road, continue down this road, they're going to take over the government. And if they take over the government, we're going to see happening in America what is happening in South Africa right now.
Well, they kind of did take over. They had office number 1 with a Black president, and it wasn't exactly South. It wasn't a great 8 years, but it wasn't South Africa. So thank God for that. Let me ask you this, because I know you've been, and I appreciate that you're outspoken against identity politics from the left. And you talked about how you used to be a Democrat and you left that life behind you. I know a lot of Black conservatives use the term sort of leaving the.
I wish I could have seen fucking Jesse during his Democrat days.
Plantation. But doing this, isn't this kind of playing into their hand, doing identity politics on the other side of the coin? Don't we just want everyone to be celebratory of America, regardless of race?
We do, and a lot of people are waking up again. They're waking up now because of White History Month.
Wait, here's a little catch. I don't know if you saw this. The way Crowder puts his finger over his mouth and touches his frenulum, the little weird thing under your nose. That's a showbiz trick to stop yourself from laughing. So I think he thinks JLP is kind of silly, or he thinks the words he's saying are silly.
America, regardless of race.
We do, and a lot of people are waking up again. They're waking up now because of White History Month. They're like coming out of this darkness, this sleep that most people are in. Like, oh yeah, that's really nice. I remember I remember America now. I remember how we got started. I remember they're overcoming the fear of being white. The reality is white people are not.
Look at Crowder now. I feel like he's biting his lip now, because now I'm thinking possibly that Crowder didn't know that Jesse was this extreme and that his whole fucking show is a joke.
Allowed to be white.
See, I don't have this issue because I don't take Jesse seriously, so I don't have to hold it together when I talk to him.
Everybody else is allowed to do what they want, and white Americans are not allowed to be themselves. They can't have a white club at these universities around the country.
Now Crowder's fucking sucking on it, biting his nail, because he's like, what the fuck did I get myself into? I'm supposed to agree with this guy.
Not allowed to disagree with people of color. They are not allowed to do. When Obama was there, the fallen messiah, the worst president that.
Jesse is talking about how Obama says you can't disagree with a person of color, but Jesse is fucking using the tool of scaring people, liberals, from criticizing a guy because of his color.
This country has ever experienced with their white Americans who were not allowed to disagree with him.
Yeah.
If you did, you were called racist.
Well,
And
now
so white
then that became sexist overnight when Hillary Clinton ran for president, right? Everyone went from being racist to sexist. But I wouldn't say fallen messiah, because I wouldn't think that Barack Obama was a messiah to begin with. Certainly, he shouldn't have been. We both agree with that. So I wouldn't even give him that much credit. I would just say fallen that guy. I don't want to give him. I don't want to put him up on the pedestal to take him off. I just don't want to put him there to begin with. I understand.
Well, the reason I call him the fallen messiah because
Do you see how he cut off? Do you see how Alpha Jesse cut off Crowder, and he just got silent? That's a beta move, Crowder.
I want to put him there to begin with. I understand.
Well, the reason I call him the fallen messiah because I interviewed over 200 or so black preachers during the when Barack Obama first ran back in 2008.
Yeah.
And they were calling him, they were like, oh, he's sent by Jesus. God sent Obama. And I'm like, there's no way God would send the son of Satan to run the country.
Yeah.
Because Obama, I said to them, Obama is Jeremiah Wright Jr., Louis.
Look at the fucking people. Look at the fucking people.
Obama, I said.
I want to show Crowder's people, show their facial reactions. It's amazing.
Yeah, Obama is Jeremiah Wright.
Look at fucking. I think that's not gay Jared right there. Look at his fucking face. He's like, what are we doing? And then the guy in the back's covering his mouth. So now I'm thinking, while Crowder's like covering his mouth like that, it's also because he's looking over at his friends over there, and they're like probably making faces, making it even harder for him to do the interview because it's such a joke.
Jr., Louis Farrakhan, Jesse Jackson, the NAACP, Al Sharpton, and all those guys wrapped up in one. And if he is elected, this country will live to regret that. And so they later found out that he really wasn't sent by God, but he was sent by Satan. So that's why I call him the fallen messiah.
Right. Now, do you think ever you might run into some murky, because I know you're a controversial figure, you might run into sort of blurring the lines, because I know you're using the term son of Satan. I know you're using this. You don't literally think that Satan mated with someone and had Barack Obama, but you mean that he comes from an evil ideology. But do you think that sometimes when you take something that's very literal, meaning priests did literally say Obama was sent by God, and we totally agree that's completely off the beaten path.
Some of the, honestly, I feel like Crowder is giving Jesse some good advice if Jesse wanted to be like a legit journalist, whatever. But I don't think Jesse's actually interested in that.
But then if you take something that's literal from them and then apply a figurative son of Satan, it kind of murkies the waters. And then the conversation becomes to your term, which wasn't meant as they took. And then you just get off the rails. You ever get concerned about that?
Well, what I've come to realize is that our battle is a spiritual battle.
Right.
It's a warfare between good and evil.
I just want to say, like, I'm loving the juxtaposition of Jesse's calm confidence versus Crowder being on speed and still seeming less confident than JLP.
We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spirits and principalities and wickedness in high places. We are a spirit. And so there are those folks who are sons and daughters of God, so they're of him. And there are those who are sons and daughters of evil, the prince of darkness, which is Satan, and they're of him. And I call them the children of the lie. People like the liberal media, the Democratic Party, the Never Trumpers, the Rhino Republicans.
I saw a little smirk from Crowder. Look at his face. Look at his fucking smirk.
Yeah, the Democratic Party, the Never Trumpers, the Rhino Republicans. They are children of the lie. And so we do have this battle going on. It's not a physical battle. It has nothing to do with racism, sexism, homophobism, Islamophobism.
Why doesn't, and now Crowder's got his eye like, why doesn't anybody ever correct Jesse about homophobia-ism and Islamophobia-ism? There's no isms on the ends of those words.
It's either right or wrong or good or evil. And so what I'm trying to do is to get the people who are on the side of good to change the language. We can't communicate in the same manner that the children of the lie communicate, because if we do, we're never going to overcome the lie with the truth.
Yeah.
And so the truth is we are fighting against people who are on the side of evil. And Obama was one of those people.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I think we agree on most things, certainly as it relates to Barack Obama. The guy who voted president when it came to saving babies that were surviving botched abortions in Illinois and being thrown into waste paper bins is not someone who is sent of the God that I serve or you serve. That being said, and we both agree that's evil, and Planned Parenthood is evil, and the current DNC agenda, I believe, is absolutely evil. But I wouldn't put necessarily Ted Cruz supporters, Never Trumpers, in the same camp as the Planned Parenthood people, as you just kind of did. I think it's important to delineate. You know, like I don't think that Ben Shapiro, who's not necessarily a Never Trumper, or even I forgot the guy's name. Anyway, so take the people from NRO.
NRO. Oh, I don't know what that is.
I wouldn't put them in the same boat as Nancy Pelosi. Don't we think that that's important to delineate?
I absolutely agree. And I wasn't thinking of Ted Cruz or Ben. I know Ben is a good friend. As a matter of fact, Ben owed me a lunch.
Ben owes me a lunch. And Jesse's so literal, like he probably is going to hold Ben to it. And Ben is a Jewish fella, and we know how those folks are. And I'm 36%, so I get to see. You know what? I realized in some ways I'm kind of being a hack like Jesse when I make fun of Jews because I look like one and I got a little bit of it in me. So, like, maybe I'm Jewy Lee Hosterson.
Okay.
Because we had a bet that he said that Trump would lose, and I said he would win during the primary. So he owed me a lunch. Ben is a good guy.
Just make sure it's not on Saturday. You won't be getting that lunch on Saturday. He shuts everything off.
False promises.
Yeah.
That's right. So I'm thinking of those people who are fighting against the Great White Hope, President Trump, tried to deliberately keep him back. You know, the president has put the country first. It's apparent that he's about putting the country first. But yet there are those who are the Never Trumpers who are, I guess they're just kind of out there, and they're working overtime trying to undermine what the president is doing. And those are the people that I'm referring to.
Okay. All right. I'm glad that we've clarified. And even then, I would disagree in the sense that even if they don't like President Trump, I would certainly separate them from, let's say, Christian conservatives who don't like Trump's demeanor versus liberals who want to actively kill babies in the womb.
Absolutely.
And I know you've talked too a lot about.
You know what this Crowder interview is showing me is that when you really get down to it and you really ask Jesse some questions, he might not be as radical as he portrays.
Obviously, sort of, this ties into the straight white male issue, but fathers and just the idea of masculinity in general. We talk about that in the show. And that's your website is, sorry, I got dry there, rebuildingtheman.com. We don't have a ton of time, but fill people in on that and where you end up and why you think it's important.
You know, for the last 28 years, I started an organization called Bond, the Brotherhood Organization of a New Destiny. And what we are doing is rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man.
I just realized he made fun of Destiny for having the name Destiny, but his literal fucking program has the word destiny in it.
There is an order to life, and that order is God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, and woman over children. It's a spiritual order. And when I was growing up, we understood that order and lived it to the best of our ability. But that order has switched now because so many children are born out of wedlock, especially in the Black community. To Black women who are born in this country, 77% of the children are born out of wedlock, according to the Washington Examiner. But what's happening, Stephen, in the family, when you don't have that father there, the mother is angry because it's difficult for mothers to raise children on their own, boys and girls. And so it takes the father and the mother. And so what happens is the mother is angry and she's imposing that anger on her children. And so eventually the kids start to resent.
I just saw Crowder look to the right, and when I'm not an expert here 100%, but when he's looking over, I feel like it's the same feeling I get when I'm in a conversation with a person when I'm like, is this going to end soon? Because I want to get the fuck out of here.
The mother because they can't handle that pressure. They become angry.
Something
And
important to
as
note,
you
by the
know-
way, single mothers are actually more likely to be statistically abusive than single father households. A lot of people don't know that, both emotionally and physically. Karen Strawn was on the show and talked about that. And, single parent households are not good on either direction.
That's right. And so what happens though, when the kids become angry at the mother, they become like her. They take on her identity because you become like whomever you're angry at. If you notice, the average black man, not all, but most, act like a woman. He think, feel, and act like a woman.
That is one of the greatest inventions that Jesse came up with to prevent himself from seeming racist. When he talks about black people, he's like, not all, but most.
Very angry. And that is because he lost his identity and took on and became like the woman that he hated. And that's his mother. And so when they go out into the world or when they're dealing with other human beings, they deal with it the way a woman would deal with it and not logical the way a man would deal with it. And so what we're doing is showing them how to overcome that by going to their mothers and forgiving the mothers for what they have done to them, because a lot of mothers don't realize what they're doing or they can't help it.
Right.
And so when you go to your mother and forgive her, then God will forgive you.
I always wonder how it's going to go when people do the forgive your mother thing that Jesse recommends, because it's like, what if you go to your mom and you're like, Mom, I forgive you for being mentally and physically abusive for all these years? And she's like in denial, right? And she's like, what do you mean you forgive me? I didn't do that. It just seems, I don't know, it just seems like a weird fucking thing that may not actually be good advice.
You, and he would take the spirit or the identity of your mother away from you and give you back yourself, which is not of the feminine spirit, but of the masculine identity, right? And now you can operate and love in the right way.
Now, Jesse's talking a lot about feminine and masculine, and I feel like Crowder has had some issues with femininity and masculinity.
Because that order is bad.
And I feel like it's making him hurt inside a little bit.
I think that's a good way to leave it. There are some things that I think I mostly agree with and some things that I don't, but I do think it's important that people understand the complementarian of the idea that Jesus was really the first feminist, not as we know now, but in the sense of love your wives, be good to your wives. And a big part of being a man is owning your actions, is being honest, being straightforward, and yes, loving and treating your wives with tenderness and care. And by the way, that means staying with your wife. So, hey, look, it's rebuildingtheman.com. And maybe you could have picked June for White History Month because Father's Day is in there. You know, there's more intersect. You brought it up. I didn't.
That's homosexual month. You can't have that month. It's already.
Wait, June is homosexual month? Oh, Pride Month? Is that what it is?
Taken.
Well, but that doesn't make sense. Father's Day and the Gay Pride Month. There's a whole lot of. I'm so lost. That is JesseLeePeterson.com and rebuildingtheman.com. Thank you so much for taking the time, sir. I wish you the best.
I appreciate you having me on. God bless you.
We're gonna wrap this up after this.
Beautiful. Isn't that so beautiful? Fucking, I gotta say, watching that made me think that Crowder is like somewhat of a decent, possibly somewhat of a decent guy. But maybe he had Jesse on. You know, it actually is a good tactic if you want to seem like a good dude. You could just be like, yeah, like, I don't agree with this crazy guy over here. And then you start to look like the good guy. It's actually a smart tactic. I want Joe Rogan to have Jesse Lee Peterson on, but I don't even know if Joe would take Jesse seriously enough to have him on the show. Like, because like, unlike a lot of these people, whether it's Crowder or Ben Shapiro, or Nick DiPaolo, they will interview Jesse, but they won't. They will a little bit, like Crowder did. They will a little bit point it out, but Joe Rogan would tear him a new asshole. It's the truth, and I mean literally. I don't mean figuratively. I mean he would get in there and rip it apart with his fucking. I don't know what I'm saying, but it is the truth. So we saw Jesse, Alpha, the news panel. We saw people claiming that Sam Hill is a pedophile. We saw Uncle Dusty. We might cover him in the future. We'll see. My new crush, Mel Robbins, has a lot of things to say as well. I'm thinking, I called this the illegal stream when I posted it, but actually it's not. Maybe I'll change it to an HB Live video. All right, let's take a look here at. Oh, okay. There's, I've talked about this before. The host praisers segment. I've never done it before, but I kind of want to. It's, I do a lot of host busting, calling people out for different things, but I don't praise enough people. And I think that if I do, I might actually have the opportunity to give you some people to check out and enjoy. Now, you might not think that Steve-O is a great guy. I don't know what you think of him. Maybe he's a fucking joke. But we'll see about that. I might cover it today. Not sure about that. I want to check in with the chat, though, because it is important to respect the chat. Joe Rogan would go too hard on Jesse, and it would look like bullying. I wonder, I really wonder. Joe can get mean or nice. If you look how he interviewed, if he sees somebody as like kind of a nerd or a weak person, I think that there's a part of Joe underneath the muscular alpha exterior. I think there's an insecure kind of nerd in Joe, because if you look at what he does, he's always interviewing these intellectual people and talking about this stuff, and he even admitted he wanted to sound smart. And so I think if he can go easy on people, I don't know what he would be like with Jesse, but I would love to watch it. But yes, it might actually, if Joe went too hard on Jesse, then people might start to be like, they might start to side with Jesse more. But dude, it would be fucking, I hope it happens someday. I really want to go on Jesse's show, and I don't know how I would play it. I've called in 3 or 4 times, but I want to go there in person. It would be a fucking dream to be. I could either, troll him, I could be friendly, or I could debate him, seriously. I don't know which I would do, but it would be a really fun experience for sure. I kind of feel like that's why some of the comedians have gone on there, just to fucking laugh at the guy and troll him. But what's his name? Recently, Steve-O was on the H3 podcast, and I want to just go to that. This is a host praisers segment. Let's do that. Stop screen. Eventually, we're going to move on from StreamYard because it's like not as great as I want it to be. But for now, this is what we're running on. This is what we're doing. This is Steve-O on the H3 podcast. This is host praisers. And here's a story that he had to tell.
I grew up a Jackass fan. When you put that condom full of weed in you, how did you not die from that? Like, that was insane.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, well, again, thank you so much for watching it, dude. I love everything about that damn gnarly special. And
very fucking smooth voice, doesn't sound anything like he swallowed fucking 55 pine cones.
you know, the idea for the drug smuggling bit, where in the special,
Wait a second, I'm busting him. I'm supposed to be praising him. Sorry. You know what? He's a great guy, and he's using a wonderful microphone. And you know what? Here's a little compliment to him. He's got a little dog bed going up to his bed. Isn't that adorable? That's nice. What a sweet thing to do.
get arrested for international drug smuggling. It came from staying at this chick's house. There was a period when I first moved out to LA where Chris Pontius and I were both completely homeless. And we had this running competition to see who could stay homeless the longest, despite the fact that now we were earning enough money to be able to rent an apartment. You know, it was just this funny game that we were playing. And at a certain point, we were both staying at this girl's house. She was out of town. We were house sitting, taking care of her dog, which was this little 10-pound, like, fucking terrier, whatever. And so Chris and I come back from the bar with these two chicks. We're in this girl's place, and we both, in separate rooms, are humping these Danish chicks, right? They were both from Denmark. And as per usual, I had this little habit where I took off my soiled condom and, like, would tie it in a knot and, like, you know, I would, like, swirl it around, be like, woo, yeah, you know, and I would throw it, right? Like, so I did that in this girl's house. I threw my tied in a knot rubber through it. And then I'm whatever. At the time, I was smoking cigarettes, smoking a cigarette, and I remember seeing the little 10-pound dog come running into the room, and it runs out of the room, and I'm like, oh, okay, you know, that's. But then, after I get done with my cigarette, I get up and I look on the ground. I'm like, where's the condom? Like, it's not here, and I'm thinking, oh no. So, in my view, this is the worst, because the girl whose house we were staying at had a boyfriend, you know. And, like, if this dog picked up the condom and took it on, like, a little victory lap and dropped it somewhere else where the fucking boyfriend's going to find it in her place, like, that's going to be a problem. So I'm all kinds of fucking stressed out about it. And, like, and I can't find it anywhere. And then even worse, what if the dog swallowed the fucking thing and it gets tangled up in the dog's intestines or something? And, like, you know, the dog dies because it fucking gobbled my rubber. So I was like, the rest of the time at this girl's house.
By the way, this is such a Steve-O story. Of course, this would happen in his life.
Like, walking the dog, I'm like, you know, like, checking every, you know, when the dog poops. I forget how long it was. It wasn't too long, but I woke up from a crazy drug bender at like fucking 6 p.m. or something. And right next to the bed I was sleeping in is this piece of fucking dog poop, which just morphed into my rubber. You know, it was like half log and half yeah. And like I grabbed my camera and fucking I grabbed my camera and lifted it up by the ring of the rubber, and the rubber gets like all straightened out, and once it's fully straight, the piece of dog poo is just sticking out perpendicular in the middle, you know, and you can see the whole load of cum was intact in the, you know, after passing through the whole dog, the whole load was just perfectly intact in the rubber. And you know, I put it out on my first DVD, which I actually just uploaded into this video library at steve-o.com. When you see the first Steve-O Don't Try This at Home video and Career Ender, that's on there. But yeah, so I felt like, fuck, okay, thank God we figured that out. I got a cool piece of footage out of it, but I felt fucking bad. When my cum's coming out of that dog's asshole, it's not a lot different than the dog being sodomized by me. You know, just the cum's going in the other direction.
The reason I respect this is because, now I'm not saying you should ever give a dog a condom, right, with your own jizz. Hear me out for a second. It sounds like I'm defending sexual acts with dogs. I'm not at all. Don't worry. The condom was on the floor. The dog swallowed it. And this situation happened, and Steve-O is willing to admit this and say that it's fucked up. So 1 point for him right there.
you know. And I felt that I owed it to that dog somehow. And so I was like, okay, you know, if the dog can swallow a condom and have it come out all intact, then I should be able to as well. So that was the birth of the idea. What am I gonna do swallowing a condom? And then when I went on the Europe tour, I said, dude, I'm gonna load up a condom with fucking weed in one country and then fly to the next country and shit it out and smoke it. And so that was where the idea, but it turned into this crazy debacle because, like Zach said, fucking thing wouldn't come out. And I thought I was going to die because it was going to block up all of my shit, you know?
You stuffed a lot. I think you put a lot of weed in there.
A lot. I know.
don't
And I
even know how you
choked
kicked
on
that
it.
thing down, man. Yeah.
I didn't even think I did. It was stuck in my throat, you know, like it was the most fucking scary thing. And then everyone was telling me that like you can get blockage in your intestines and like, you know, and so I was really worried that I was going to die of intestinal strangulation. And I expressed these concerns to every media outlet that I talked to. That was just like, and they're not fucking cool about drugs in Sweden. They really aren't. So yeah, it came out in the newspaper that I had drugs in my body before the drugs were out of my body. And the cops fucking swooped in to fucking nail me for international drug smuggling. The whole story is crazy, and it's in the gnarly special. So by all means, please go over to stevo.com and stream that motherfucker.
That's like the most square shit I ever heard. Like, apparently, there's so little going on in Sweden. The cops arrested you and then made you shit in a cup for a week to check for the weed.
Yeah, it wasn't a cup. It was a bag. It was a fucking a little. Yeah, it was a toilet that had like a bag set up in the bowl.
Oh, that's so. This isn't the first time they've dealt with this issue.
Right, I get it.
So the part that stands out to me from Gnarly is the jet fuel accident. You laid in jet.
I think this is the end of it, but the fact that Steve-O did all that, made himself swallow the weed and shit it out his ass inside of a condom just to pay respect to his dog, if that's the truth. I think that is amazing and respectful and worthy of praise that after seeing his dog swallow his disgusting condom and shit it out, that he put himself through that just to feel what the animal felt. I think that is worth complimenting. So that is the first host praiser segment. I hope you appreciate it. Buddy PNG says, I have to go. I can't watch any more of this filth. Well, there's no more filth, but that's enough filth for one day. That's over. Let's see. Do I want to cover anything else? Let's see. I could cover my old video, could do the kangaroo thing. What I'm going to do, though, is just probably wrap it up because, well, maybe I'll do some stuff later. Let me see. I've come up with a good outro song, though. We'll just go with song. All right. Do this song. This song is by, what is it? I actually forget. It's in Japanese, so I don't remember what the band is called, but it's the band is called Melancholy, and the song is called Sun. So we will wrap it up. Thank you, folks, for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and don't hit your dogs and people and hamsters.